Hey everyone, Zeddy here today with a brand new video, and today I want to discuss a problem that's been happening in WoW effectively since its inception, and that is that the mode is completely broken and unbalanced. Now, when WoW was originally made, it was basically used to be established as a dumping ground for cards that would be, rotated. The game had power creep so hard they didn't know how to get new cards to come in. Funny enough, the newer cards are more powerful than anything they've ever rotated. But regardless, it just created that situation, and the format has effectively always been a bit of a clown fiesta. It's wild, right? And to an extent, that is relatively, I guess, okay. But the problem is that Wild is consistently and completely broken and warped by a few decks that just dominate and do things that basically do not allow your opponent to play the game. Whether it be Naga Warlock or Snip Snap Warlock or Aligner Druid, these decks have just always dominated, and it typically takes months and months and months of complaining on Reddit or on Twitter or whatever to finally have it addressed. I believe Snip Snap took nearly half a year. Aligner Druid was probably the quickest they fixed because it was just insanely busted, and I guess they knocked it off, but the decks typically stay broken for a long time. And then we get a myriad of excuses from the dev team. Typically, they range from the numbers don't support it being that strong, despite the fact we'll have numbers that prove that, but they just say they won't, such as like with Snip Snap Warlock. It was the best deck for months and months and months. They said, well, we don't have the numbers for that, and then eventually they just nerfed it. Again, if our numbers are showing it and public sentiment says it's broken, fix it, please. But regardless. And then we get the argument that Billy Bob Joe is going to get upset if his favorite card is nerfed and then quits the game, such as what they used for Barnes over the past couple years. And they finally nerfed it, and guess what? Big Priest is still the most popular deck in Wild. Basically outside of rank 5 to Legend, but any other rank, it's the most popular. They're still even playing Barnes in the deck. I've been Barnes on 5, so it doesn't look like they quit, which is shocking, but regardless, we keep hearing that excuse. And, it's just a very frustrating experience. And right now we're going through it again. We have Quest Mage, both the Quest and Reno variants, and Secret Mage. All three of these mage decks are completely dominant, fun, uninteractive, and make up over, at times, 40% of the meta. In my last week of Legend Ladder, last month, I faced over 40%, and throughout this entire month, climbing on all three servers, so a very large and large sample size across three different metas, I faced well over 35% mages. So again, it's completely warping and dominating the meta. And then we're left with this quote from Ixar when we recently brought to this issue of Quest Mage, is that they don't want decks. Typically, historically, they have nerf decks in Wild that do unfair swing turns that make the game like unfun in the mid-range game. So basically, you would think like turns 4 through 7. Well, you look at Quest Mage, they complete the quest on those turns and win the game with no way to interact other than killing them, because they're going to kill you with giants over 2 turns. You can't do anything about it. You have Darkest Hour Warlock, which automatically wins the game with Bloodbloom Cataclysm, and then you also have other Warlocks with Void Caller, Sack Pack, and cheating out giant demons and winning the game immediately. These unfair swing turns that Ixar stated, they exist, and they're the best decks in Wild. Secret Mage does not fall under this category, just to be clear. It is a very obnoxious and repressive deck that keeps a lot of archetypes back, it's the insane synergy the deck has with its secret pack. It just, you can't play minion, you can't play spell to kill you. What do we do? Like, how do we address this issue? Well, it's quite simple. Balance the format. Rather than balancing it once or twice every, year, and only doing it when you're addressing completely and utterly broken things, actually address it. You don't need to address it as often as standard. You can address it, on a quarterly basis. That way you can keep things in line and keep the format fun. You have this format exist. you have a community that loves playing Wild. Even in China right now, the Chinese Wild community is blown up. There's well over 10,000 legends there. And from what I understand, Quest Mage is a very heated topic over there, which they would like to see balance changed. And then we got another argument from Ixar on Twitter that he doesn't get the sense that the community wants changes, that they want things left alone. So I compiled a poll on the Wild subreddit on my Twitter account, and I've done through my own Twitch channel. And these are smaller sample sizes. I don't have access to what Blizzard has access to. But across all three of them, when asked the question, would you like to see Wild nerfed as regularly as standard? So this is like way more than I'm even suggesting, nor should they do. Still, 50% of people said yes. 50%. That's in terms of like basically monthly nerfs. And then if you scroll through the comments regarding this, there's a complete consensus that we would love to see things that are like completely broken and unfun, such as Quest Mage, such as Darkest Hour Warlock, nerfed much quicker. Like having to complain for months on end is just not acceptable. And I would just love to see the Blizzard team step up and nerf a little bit more often. I don't think you need to do it as much as standard. But right now, the game is not fun. People hate Quest Mage. I know I play it a lot, but I play it because it's the only combo deck I could play that wins. I don't think it should be a thing. It's not fun to play 2 or 3 turns in a row, to play Ice Block, to cheat out 1 billion mana, and your opponent literally can't do anything unless they're playing a hyper aggro deck. Not everyone wants to play Secret Mage to counter this deck. Some people want to play, other decks other than Secret Mage, or other high roll decks. It would be cool, but currently you cannot. And I just think that with more often nerfs, as I outlined, and I even outlined suggestions for these nerfs in my How to Fix Wild Balance Changes video, I think a lot of good could be done. The Wild community would be super grateful, and maybe they'll buy more packs, maybe they'll do more things, maybe they'll leave some more money, maybe the format will become more popular. It will just help grow the game. So I hope that Blizzard can at least listen to these arguments. There's people across Reddit, across Twitter, across Twitch, everywhere I go that would love to see more often balance changes. Quest Mage, Darkest Hour Warlock, Void Caller, Blood Bloom, Mechathin, this stuff is just not interactive, not fun in any way. And I really believe it should be addressed. And if you nerf these decks, and yes, the hyper aggro decks will still be powerful, you can actually counter them with control, such as Odd Warrior, because you don't have these insane, complete, non-interactive things that crush every single control deck ever made. You could actually counter aggro if these decks didn't exist. So, let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see more nerfs in Wild? Do you think I'm right or wrong on this? Do you think Ixar's right or wrong on this? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get the word out there. Let's let them know that we want better for Wild. We love Wild. Let's improve Wild. Have a good day, everyone, and stay salty, my friends.